Brothers and sisters, Brother John here. I got a new camera, and I'm sure the voice is clear. And I'd like to bring a few thoughts to you this morning. I thank you all for your gifts that helped me to get this camera and for better clarity. It's a 1080p camera, so it's a little more clear as well. So thank you all. All right. So I'd like to bring a couple of thoughts to you this morning of the time that we're living in. Okay, the times that we're living in right now. That's important to me because it's and how close we are to the King coming, right? The King of Kings. Jesus Christ is our Lord, the King of Kings. Three things. We've got the Obama statement, which came in 2012 at the Correspondents' Dinner. All right, in Washington, White House Correspondents' Dinner. We have the Pope's remarks, and we have the Queen's remarks. All right, the Queen, I don't have her quote, okay, but she said to the extent of last Christmas, she said that this Christmas might not be. All right, enjoy your last Christmas. In other words, that was last year. The thing about the Pope told people in 2015, the 21st of December 2015, the Pope made a statement. And he told crowds in St. Petersburg Square that this Christmas might be the last one for humanity. Okay? Then we have a guy by the name of Mike from around the world. That's not his real name, of course, but he's on Pastor Paul Begley's website or YouTube channel. Many times I've heard him. And he's telling us that there's a second wave of energy that they have calculated down to the very second. They have an exact time when this thing is going to hit the earth, and it happens to be hitting the earth the day after Christmas, which is December 25th. Then we have Obama saying that he was going to win the war on Christmas in his second term. Okay, that was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What does that even mean? Win the war on Christmas? Come on, what does it mean? You know, is it that they're not going to have anyone's not going to be allowed to put manger scenes or something like that out in front of their churches because it's going to be offensive to Muslims or something? I mean, what is the war on Christmas he's talking about? At any rate, nothing that I can see has happened in the past Christmases during his second term. But this Christmas is his last Christmas, okay, as president. So if he's going to win a war, I would suggest that he wins it now. I mean, that's what he's saying. He's going to win a war, so on Christmas. So what is it about Christmas that just keeps popping up, right? Well, the day after Christmas is the second wave of energy. There's a woman that I posted on my YouTube channel. I would suggest you go there and check out that video, who had a dream, and she dreamt as a little girl. In the dream, she was a little girl, and she was in a closet, and the door opened, and it was Jesus. And Jesus said, "Come out." And so she comes out of her closet. Isn't that awesome? Like a picture of the bride coming out of the closet, right? At any rate, she goes, but she's a young girl. So she comes out of the closet, and the question she asked Jesus was, "When are you coming to get us?" And Jesus just said, "The 25th. Okay, so the 25th of what? The 25th of November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Who knows? But the 25th, all right? Now, how does it line up? Well, the 25th is either the 25th of November or possibly the 25th of December. Because this is the year. Remember, the Jubilee year started last year. Now, there's many people that kind of go the other way, but the Sanhedrin has already revealed and agreed and said that this is the Jubilee year. So, Jubilee year has ended. The end of the Jubilee came as of, well, I had it figured in September, but as of the 1st or the 3rd of October, which was Rosh Hashanah. That's the head of the year, which changed from 5776 to 5777. So therefore, the end of the Jubilee year, if it started in 2016. And there's more than enough evidence in the videos that I've made that prove it. So, okay, so back to this. So the 25th of December, or the 25th of November. Let's look at the 25th of November. Because we're in a time now, brothers and sisters, in Daniel 9:25, and it says, "Know therefore and understand from the going forth of the commandment," which happened the 29th of November, 1947, "that there shall, to restore and build Jerusalem, unto Messiah the Prince." Now, Messiah the Prince is interesting because, as I've come to find, it's possible that this Messiah the Prince is the prince that shall, the people of the prince that shall come. Okay? It's either Messiah our Lord Jesus Christ, or it's Messiah the anti-Messiah. It's either one. Okay? In the first fulfillment of Daniel, this was our Messiah. Jesus Christ came already. Okay? But this time, this is a cyclical prophecy. It happened when it was stated in 7 times 70, which is the Shabuah word, which is 70 weeks. 70 weeks or 70 Shabuahs. Okay? Which has 3 meanings. So that's why it's so confusing. It can't just be so simple as to say it's 70 years. It has to be fulfilled, all of it. Remember, there's no idle words. So it can mean, there's 3 meanings of Shabuah. It means 7, it means multiple of 7, or it means weeks, or Feast of Weeks. Okay? So we've already had the 70 times 7. The 70 years times 7 was 490 years. That's the time of Artaxerxes Longimanus that gave the command to restore and build the temple and all that. And from that exact count, 173,880 days later, that's when Jesus rode in on his donkey. All right? And 4 days later, he was on the cross. Okay? So that was an exact fulfillment. All right? But then that left a balance because it was only 483 years to that point. So there was a balance of 7 years. That's where we get the 7-year tribulation from. Okay? So, anyway, so there's only 2 ways right now to understand this meaning. Either it's going to be from the decree or from the Shavuot. All right? So 70-week Feast of Weeks would be 70 Shavuots. All right? Or it can be from the decree, which would just be the anniversary of the decree. All right? But either way, there's a 6-month difference. So it's either going to be the 29th of November, which is the decree, which is from the 69th week, 69th year. Okay? Because weeks are years. 70 years. It was the same thing in if you go back and look at Jeremiah 25, it tells you in there that 70 years were determined, okay, on those people that were in captivity in Babylon. So these 70 weeks also work out to 70 years. That's important, because it even works out in the Shabuah where it's 7 times 70, because it's a 70-year period, but it was 7 times that. You understand? So that happened already. That was the first fulfillment. So the second fulfillment will be 70 years. It won't be 490 years. And it also works on Psalms 90:10, where a generation is determined as 70 years, or by reason of strength 4 score, which is 80 years. Okay? Because a score is 20. So it's very plus we have the generation, the parable of the fig tree, the generation that sees Israel become a nation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. So in there we have a 7-year period that was left, okay, when Jesus came to the day. All right, to that day when he died, and then it was a 7-year period that was left. All right, so that's how we get the 7-year tribulation. But when we're looking at now, and what we're seeing about how many years has been fulfilled, 69 years will have been fulfilled as of November 29th, 1947, on this month, 2016. That is the 69th year. And that's what it says, unto Messiah. But I've already said it could be here or it could be over in May. All right? May the 30th is actually Shavuot, which is the Feast of Weeks. So it's either going to go from the time of the decree, which would be whenever the decree happened, or it's going to go from the counting of the decree to Shavuot. That would be your first count. So then you have 70 years or 69 years of Shavuot, okay, which would put you in on the other side of winter. All right, May 31st or 30th, May 30th of 2017. All right, so I tend to believe in my heart of hearts that it's right now because of what's culturally being shown and spoken of. If this Christmas is going to be different, or if it's not going to be a Christmas, or if someone's going to win a war on Christmas, that suggests something. And guess what I just thought of? Obama just put something out about space weather. It was an executive order. He just placed that idea in as far as an order for space weather emergency. All right. I don't know what order number it is, but it's an executive order. Just recently, like in October, he put it out. Okay, so space weather, huh? Right at the last part of his presidency, just prior to December 25th or 6th, when there's a second wave of energy headed to hit the Earth, that scientists have calculated down to the second when it's going to hit. Doesn't that sound like it's got to be something? Is it wrath? Because when you listen to Mike from around the world, he's talking about it's not going to be good. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be here with what he's talking about. He's talking about 200 mile an hour straight line winds. That kind of wind in a straight line has never happened on this earth. Okay, there's been high winds with hurricanes. A lot of times they're not all straight line. They're kind of blustery, right, or gusts of wind. He's talking about 200 mile an hour straight line winds. There isn't a house built that will take that kind of thing. You can blow a house off its foundation, all right, or rip its roof off or whatever, bust windows by flying debris. And it's not talking about a tornado. He's talking about winds. So to me, it seems that we're right here. It's right here, and we're just before the rapture. We are just before it. Okay? So, all right, so let me read this. So it's know therefore and understand from the going forth of the commandment, which was in 1947, November 29th, unto Messiah the Prince, I've skipped some of the wording, until Messiah the Prince, which could be the Prince of the people that shall come. All right? The people of the Prince that shall come. So like I started saying, this here, the Messiah the Prince, is either Jesus Christ, which already came and fulfilled the first time, or when he comes, because the book is unsealed for the end times, this is a cyclical book, then it means that this Messiah the Prince could very well be the one that they call anointed or the Antichrist, okay? Someone who's in place of Christ, all right? A lot of views on this. There's a lot of different opinions on this. But it is, to suggest this is to say that both would come, all right? Just like one is taken, one is left. So the ones that are left will follow whoever is here on earth, okay? The Messiah that comes to earth, all right? The one that they accept in his own name, all right? Because they're going. Jesus said, I come in my Father's name, you don't accept me. But if one should come in his own name, you will accept him. That's just a man that comes in his own name, that does right and good by Israel. All right? At least in their sight. So they're happy to have this king, all right? Or this man, whoever this man is that does good by them, all right? That's the thought. And that's where it's headed with our new president-elect, Donald Trump. Whether it's him or not, I'm not saying that. All I can say is there's evidence, and the evidence is to be looked at. All right? So that's what we need to do. So let me just give you a little bit about... So unto Messiah, it would be 69 weeks, all right? That's the 29th of this month. 69 weeks from the command is 29th of this month. All right? 10 days from now. All right. A very interesting portion of the video that I want to share is this. So, on the 20th, Jupiter enters into Virgo, into the womb. All right? Matthew 24:20 or 24:29 says there'll be signs in the sun and the moon. All right? Did we not just have a supermoon on the 14th of November? That was a sign, especially as they were pointing to it as being the largest, or the last one happened 1948, when Israel, the year that Israel stated that they were a nation. It happened actually January 26th. I looked it up. The 26th of January, 1948, that was the last supermoon to be as close. I guess that's how they, because I know we've had supermoons, we've had other supermoons. But it was interesting how they were all pointing to 1948. So it was a sign, okay? Because it was making us aware that that happened in 1948. What else happened in 1948? Since Israel became a nation, all right? But the decree, the command, came forth in 1947. That's important to remember. And here we are, right after the supermoon, the 29th of November is the from the command anniversary, all right? Whether it's the weeks, right? The weeks of years, or feast of weeks. All right? It's still from the command, it is the anniversary. It's the first anniversary, or the 69th anniversary from the decree, or the command. Okay? Now, it can be looked at, there's a 6-month period between here, but because of all the evidence pointing to December 26th and the 25th with dreams, and the way we're watching the heavens for the signs, all right? We're watching, Virgo with Jupiter entering into the womb that will be in retrograde for 40 weeks. Now, if you understand, if you go on Stellarium and you move the, you work the clock will, if you set the clock at September the 9th, 2017, that's when Jupiter leaves that line that delineates the belly of Virgo. So the baby is coming out of that right there. It's actually crossing the line on September 9th. If you count 40 weeks, which is a normal gestation period, which is 280 days, I believe, you find that that's an exact count. And where does it come from? November the 25th. The day after Thanksgiving. So there's so much pointing to this area of time as to be ready and watching and realize Jesus is about to return. My friends, I'm excited, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens now. And we've gone through Brother Steve Fletcher's timeline, and we're still here. But I could say that we were. Does he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,305 and 30 days, does that mean 5 and 35 days? Does that mean that it's the rapture? Does that, after how he connected it, if you go according to the way Steve and others have seen as it works with Obama connecting, all right, with the Nobel Peace Prize and all of this, all right, October 9th with 1,260 days, and then March 22nd, 23rd, from there it was 1,260 or 1,290, and then from 1,290 it was 1335, which was the 16th, 17th of November. And here it is, what? The 19th of November. We're still here, but does that must mean that it wasn't the rapture, but does it mean that you throw that on a scrap heap? I don't think so. It still has meaning. Okay? Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1,330 days. 1,335 days. In essence, we're blessed. Blessed are you. If you're watching this video, blessed are you. Okay? What does it mean? It means, well, it surely means that we haven't been raptured yet, but blessed. Blessed are you. Think about that. So if we're not raptured, what does blessed are you mean? What does that mean? Does it mean that we're in the last couple of months? Possibly. Does it mean that, we're in the last week? Do you see? It's close. His coming is near. Be excited. Be sober-minded. Be aware. Now's not the time to drop any kind of a watch. Now's the time to be studying, to show yourself approved. Maybe he'll give you something, a dream, or more evidence through the Word. Okay? But what's interesting to me is there's a lot of interesting things. But it's all in this time, just before the new year. Okay? Just before the new year. We've only got a month and a week and a half. All right? December and the rest of November. All right? So it's not a question of days or, what day is it going to be. It's a question of watching, and we know the season. And remember, the Jubilee started last year and it finished this year. So it's after the Jubilee, and we're all kind of like, 5777. That's God's number. All right? So keep watch. Thank you for watching me. I love you, brothers and sisters. If you can help, I always lately I'm asking for help because I'm in a bad spot, but I'm in a great spot with our Lord Jesus. That's all I can say. But if you can, I'll try to ask for any kind of a donation or help. It surely will help me. But thank you for whatever the brothers and sisters that gave for this camera. God bless you all. I love you. Brother John,